Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 10 versus 10 on Iron Waters, and I'm going to be playing with the 2nd Panzergrenadier Division. As you can see, I have got a F-16 out at the start of the game. The AIM-9s ready and waiting to shoot down some helicopters or potentially some MiG-31s. Two MiG-31 AA-1s out at the start. These are very, very nasty in WARNO with their R40 TD1s, which do have the 8HE 50% accuracy at 7,700 meters range. My F-16 is going to come in here to try and get close up on the MiG-31s. Unfortunately, not going to be able to survive the initial engagement, but fortunately for us, Centurio is going to get one back with his F-15C Eagles. So a little bit of an air battle at the start, very reminiscent of Broken Arrow. I know we're all reeling after the end of the November beta for Broken Arrow, but of course WARNO still a very special game, very good game indeed, and I'm going to be showing off some strong mechanized action as my Marder 1A3s approach the front line. Going to be backed up by a Gepard 1A1. We do have a Leopard 2A3 leader as well, which helped capture Papa, and will be eventually pressing forwards to Hotel. I also brought up a couple of Jäger-Aufgabe. We've got a couple of Fallschirmjägers. And one interesting thing about the 2nd Panzergrenadier lately is they did get updated so that the Panzergrenadier squads are now 6-man squads, and they come now with a DMR. So they get a G3A3 with a scope on it, and it allows them to engage more effectively at range, which is really, really nice in combination with their Marders. So we'll be looking to do that today with these 4 Marder 1A3s at the start of the game. The Fallschirmjägers, of course, taking the ground for us early on, as they can forward deploy due to their airborne trait. And the Jäger-Aufgabe being recon can also forward deploy just a little bit shorter. Su-24 Seed coming in early on, absolutely smashing the Gepard there on the left-hand side of the Leopard. So fast we didn't even hear it. Su-24 Seeds at the moment actually pretty strong. The KH-58 Seed missile is a beast, and on the Su-24 now it has good maneuverability, can just swing around the front line like that and find its kills. But Marder 1A3 now moving into position so that we can start to put pressure onto this compound, because naturally the fight tends to occur either over this village, which is why I deployed short at this industrial complex, or if you can get into the village like I have, then it would be this little complex here that you'd be fighting over next in order to get control of the bottom left part of this sector. Otherwise, ND on the right hand side has managed to get an M2A2 Bradley into the bottom right, and we'll be pushing through the town on that side. So just waiting for my men to get into position. It's important that I get my Jäger-Aufgabe into position so that I can see what's shooting me out of these buildings and also out of the tree lines when I decide to attack. And that way the Marder 1A3s can provide adequate fire support, the Milan 2 will be able to get its ATGM on target, and the Panzergrens will be able to advance knowing that they're not going to get absolutely toasted by something I can't see. There is of course this BMP-3 waiting in cover for us to make a move, but as soon as I'm ready we will be pushing on in. I am going to be also bringing in a BO-105, looking very cool on the horizon there with the rockets flying over the back. Very, very nice indeed. Double M270 MLRS flying forwards with those 227mm rockets. I do now have an M110 on the way. This is going to provide me with some pretty heavy artillery support, enabling me to shut down enemy ATGMs that might try and pick off my Marders when I push forwards, as well as the Leopards. And since my Gepard went down, I'm now going to be replacing it with an Ihawk, so we're towing that into position on the right hand side there. BO-105 is currently just hovering above this building to get a little bit of elevation, and soon, when I'm confident enough, we'll make a play for the other side. Meanwhile, across the map, the battle raging on. You can see our team putting pressure into Echo. A little bit scarce on the front line near Kilo. On the left-hand side, that's a lot of missiles coming up for that poor Phantom. Unfortunately for the enemy, they don't actually manage to get a second one on target, so that's pretty huge. Anyway, it's time for me to push here. Unfortunately, the Conquer's M going to be sneaking a shot through the tree line here onto my poor Marder. So that's going to go up in smoke. But the Panzergren's now moving forwards, and you can see that new G3A3ZF that they have access to. So marksman rifle with 850 meters range, which can really complement the MG3 that they have access to in order to apply some DPS to these enemy squads at range. Now, using the tree line here as well as the Jaguars and the Panzergrenadier, the Marder 1A3 gets its autocannon on target, and we're able to do a decent amount of damage. Smoke from the Marder 1A3 is necessary to throw off the Metis of the Modostrauki there, and we're going to be unloading the second squad here, Panzergrens, and they're going to be advancing through the smoke. The Marder providing lovely fire support now from the smoke. You can see the tracers flying all over the place. Very, very cool indeed. But a nice spread from my infantry. Make sure they're not really vulnerable to like a big bombing strike or something. And using the autocannon fire support as well as the main gun of the Leopard 2A3, we're able to break down the defenders there, the Motorfedka, the Modostrauki, and the Conquer squad. Also, BRDM going to get taken out by the 1A3, and these Modostrauki, now discovered by the Panzergrenadiers, are also going to be taking a lot of autocannon fire as we continue to push across the open field here. It's really, really nice to use these Panzergrenadiers in combination with the Marder 1A3s. Unfortunately, this one routed by an Su-24M, dropping a KH-29 nearby. These air-to-ground missiles, very potent, 30 penetration, would make short work of a Marder if they hit. The 50% accuracy, though, going in favour of the Marder 1A3 as it manages to dodge 2 of those as they fly on in. So we still have the M2A2 Bradley on the right-hand side there from Endy, but I'm going to be pushing in the Leopard 2A3 on the left so we can identify roughly where their command is. So we know that it's probably somewhere in the town. There's not going to be one on the left-hand side due to the way that the front line shifted in the sector. Good kill here onto loaded UAZs. Opponent getting a little bit lazy there on the unload. And one thing you can do in WARNO is you give orders to your units preemptively before you bring them out onto the field. So if you select the unit you want to bring in the top left click on the map, and then, press the key you want to use, like Y for unloaded position, and then click on the map. It will do like an unloaded position command as it comes in. Now, unfortunately for me, a little bit too used to how much cover Broken Arrow gives in the forest, and the T-80B smashes my 2A3 in the side armor at close range, so no chance. T-80BV is also managing to slot an ATGM straight through the gap into the Marder 1A3. So my front line looking a little bit weaker than I would like now after the 2A3 and the Marders have been dispatched. So I'm going to be investing into a Tornado IDS that will be able to get its AT on target, just like the Su-24M's trying to do here with the KH-29T. So in it comes, the Tornado on the way. All Maverick missiles at its disposal. Beautiful thing about the Tornado IDS, it is fire and forget, so it can turn away as it unleashes a Maverick missile. And we got a beautiful side shot there onto the T-80BB, but I do have to be really careful of the MiG-31s flying in at high altitude, especially since the F-16 got forced off there. We did manage to kill one of the MiG-31s with our AA, so that worked out quite nicely. So I'm going to be coming back in for another run, since the MiG-31s are almost clear. Hoping to just snipe one more unit. Don't want to go too deep though. So pulling back there. The R-33 getting flared off. Does not manage to hit the mark. Going to be taking the opportunity to dive the Mi-24, and we do manage to get a shot on target with the AIM-9L. and the 27 mils. Really, really close on the kill there, but not quite. So a good run. We managed to kill the T-80, then take down the helicopter. I'm happy with that, especially since I've since reinforced with a couple of Jaguars and the Leopard 2A3. So the Jaguar Leopard 2A3 combo really started to enjoy it. The Leopard 2A3 is just a very strong maneuverable tank, and then it can take the brunt of the fire for the Jaguars that can then sit behind and get their TOW2 launchers on target. So the plan here is to have the Leopard 2A3 move forwards, take the shots from the T-80 while that's going on. The Jaguars can get the shots onto those T-80s, or if the T-80s are blind, then the Jaguar 2 can just take the shot themselves. But currently the Milan 2 doing a good job here of getting some free hits in. We're going to be able to smash the front armor of the T-80 BV here. The Leopard 2A3 taking the shot. MI2 clearly spotting that. Also the BRM there going to be causing problems. There we go. ATGM's on target. And that T-80's going to have to be forced back. It did manage to smoke in time just to stop the Milan 2 from finishing it off. This Jaguar 2 trying to slip a TOW through the gap there as well, but not quite managing it. And my Jaeger Aufklärer here getting up does allow me to spot the sheer amount of tanks that I'm going to have to be dealing with. Managed to pick up a Strela 10M at least. And a good kill in the tree line here by the Jaeger Aufklärer before they jumped out. The problem for me is I'm not really going to be able to use decent helicopters to back up my push. You know, we only get the BOs with their ATGMs if we want to use them. It would potentially help against my Tornado. Like the Strela 10M not being there certainly makes it easier because that's one less infrared missile you've got to worry about. Got flat SFL hanging out on the right here. Jaguar's going to be taking a shot at that. We've got our Su-24 coming in with the laser guided bomb. Poor Fallschirmjäger going to catch that one. Huge explosion as the poor Fallschirmjäger get absolutely annihilated. That Jaguar 2 struggling to get the TOW2 on target, but the nice thing about the Jaguar is it does come with 12 TOW2 rockets. And the other thing you can see happening here is the M109s of Jagdsource are smashing the T-80s and chipping them away. Meanwhile, my M110s, you can see, have been using their strikes on the backside here to help support with fire into the town. So I'm just trying to open up, or help open the way for Flammen and Endy, who are pushing in on this side. My Marder 1A3 providing some fire support there with their 20mm autocannon. So I've just got to kind of take it easy for a bit, get my units fixed up, get the Milan 2 some more ammunition. Leopard 1A5, 2A3 can join us as reinforcements. You can see the Mancat here that I was using to resupply the Ihawk. Instead going to send that to the front line because we do have a second one on the back side here that can be used to resupply the Ihawk instead. And then I'm going to be bringing up a new one that is going to be able to resupply the M110s. So the artillery is going to be smashing into the town here, hopefully wiping out any units that are in those buildings. Pioneer on the way in the Fuchs, and we got another Jaguar heading up here as well. Now a cheeky Grad strike coming in. Could also be the BM. Either way, not dealing too much damage. Infantry certainly vulnerable to this, particularly if they aren't in cover. But both squads are going to survive. I'm just moving back the Milan 2 here to get the supply from the Mancat. Now Jaeger Aufklärer spotting the KDA Schützen for us, which is going to allow me to move up with the Leopard 1A5 and start getting its gun on target. It's just lining it up down the road so that it can fire here at the enemy. And look at the town in the background there. And the aircraft overhead going down. Flames everywhere. That aircraft getting smashed out of the sky. The Milan 2 managing to get some good hits onto these T-80s. Oscar manages to get out. This Panzergun's moved up and found some enemy infantry. On the right, the Pioneers are going to get ready to move through the town from this direction. Eyehawk did manage to get a shot onto the Su-24. Unfortunately for the Eyehawk, incredibly hard shot to hit, because the Su-24 has 60% ECM, which is like reducing the accuracy quite a lot. Do eventually hit on target. You know, it was playing with fire that whole time and I was freely reloading it. But the Eyehawk does get the job done. Chaparral, Eyehawks trying to kill off the MiG-29. My one hits the mark. Job done. So double kill for the Eyehawk there. Really, really nice. We're slowly but surely getting into a position to make another push. Due to the sheer number of T-80s that we saw opposite us, I was thankful that we hadn't been pushed out of this position, because if they'd been a bit more aggressive and had the recon up their sleeve, then I reckon they could have definitely pushed me out while I wasn't reinforced. Unfortunately, Seed is going to hit the Eyehawk as the artillery is coming in anyway. My Jaguar also does get picked off by a T-80, so that wasn't ideal. Does certainly put me back a little bit in terms of being able to push once again, but check out this right side. Getting absolutely smashed to pieces by artillery. That's the M270 rounds coming in there. Dealing loads of damage to the infantry in that town. I've also got my own artillery aiming at these KDA Schützen. Just try and break them down as best we can. And that way we can solidify our position in this sector and continue to gain points for our team. Although Dunhumby here has managed to get a commander into Echo, so good job by them. Once again, the rocket strike coming in, looking for the Milan 2, I'd imagine, but not too much luck. Now MiG-25 RBF Foxbats on the way with their 6 500-kilogram bombs. I think it's actually 8 that they get each. Absolutely demolishing the town there, but do lose both of them to the AA. So whilst the damage is pretty large onto a lot of this infantry, losing both of those is pretty massive too. And more aircraft just falling out the sky like flies. A-10 trying to come in. No chance, not with that many ASFs. MiG-29, 2 MiG-31s. MiG-27 trying to come through for the bombing strike, not going to make it either. Most likely trying to hit some of this AA whilst it was preoccupied, but not going to work out. So, with all of that gone, we have a chance to push on the left-hand side. Whenever your opponent uses a lot of assets like that, it does open the opportunity for you to push forwards, because you kind of know that they're going to be down those points, particularly if they were like an ineffective strike. So here, I'm just going to be trying to push up on the left-hand side. I've got the Egg Avkada providing recon. I've got the Leopard 1A5 in a nice flanking position, because the T-80 BVs are most likely going to be facing the Leopard 2A3 here, so the Leopard 1A5 might find a tasty side shot. Meanwhile, the 2 Jaguar 2s are going to be taking advantage of the low accuracy of these T-80s caused by their bad cohesion. So both of these currently on very low cohesion, and that's going to be reducing their accuracy quite significantly. Like if I go to the low cohesion on this Jaguar 2, you can see that the accuracy is reduced by 75% because of low cohesion. Absolutely huge. Also reload time increased by 40%. So when cohesion is low, do make sure to back out of any ongoing engagements if you can, because otherwise you're just potentially wasting your units. So Leopard 2A3 going to be trying to take advantage of this low cohesion. You can see that my Leopard 2A3's on normal cohesion, so it's not getting its accuracy reduced as much. Still a little bit, so on the move here its motion accuracy is going to be reduced. But that was a good kill onto one of the T-80BVs just before they managed to smoke off. And on the right hand side, enemy leader taken out, so the entire sector will be under our control. And it's about time that I move the Milan 2 back up, the Mount Cut being very, very useful there. T-80B also getting sniped on the backside of that smoke. This Jaguar 2 unfortunately caught out though. So Jaguars do have smoke. I could have probably smoked it there, but I didn't think that that would be able to get the second shot on target there. Pioneer actually finding the Tunguska. Pioneer Armbrust no longer have an Armbrust. They have a Carl Gustav. So pretty strong infantry squad. They have 16 penetration, and that made short work of the Tunguska there. Leopard 2A3 meanwhile can be backing off completely. Down to mediocre cohesion and needs fixing up. We'll send that back, replace it with a new one that's just coming to the front line. We've actually got two Leopard 2A3s here now, plus a new Jaguar 2, because that combination has been working for me incredibly well throughout this game so far. So Carl Gustav now being used to try and hit the T-80BV, but of course due to low cohesion on the Pioneers, T-80BV is going to be missed, but that is also going to reduce the cohesion on the T-80BV, so that is absolutely fine. Lovely snipe there onto one of the enemy tanks. My Leopard 2A3 going to be sneaking through the tree line here, getting a good hit on target, but also taking one ourselves. Forced to smoke because I don't want to take another hit there. Probably could have survived it, but getting it that low makes it very vulnerable to artillery. M1A1HA of Jaguars going to clean up nicely. So far so good. Our push working out really well. I have a new Ihawk on the backside here. They're going to be using the M110s. Currently just taking a chill pill. Hadn't used them for a little while since we had been making good progress through the town. And now it's time to try and finish off this T-80BV. The Milan 2 looking for the shot on target. And just a smoke off in time. And back off. Su-25, a little bit of a threat on our flank here. But the Chaparral hits the mark, so does the Stinger. The last missile there hits the mark, and down goes the Su-25. Down my Fallschirmjägers making a play onto the Spetsnaz GRU. With the help of the M1A1HA there. And the Fallschirmjägers' elite capability. Quickly clean those up. They have the shock trait. They're not technically elite, they're not like special forces or anything. But still very decent. I've also got my Tornado IDS, as you can see, microing that around to try and hit the enemy, and my opponent is going to surrender here. Oscar is defeated. That does mean that his AI is going to take over, and in a 10v10 that can be pretty brutal because the AI can be relentlessly aggressive in this game. And I'm going to take advantage of the surrender for now and try and get into a better position. So you can see I'm going to move all the Leopards up. I'm going to take the next tree line, and then we'll be able to try and keep the enemy from pushing back into this sector. Now the interesting thing that happened here across the map, you can see that whilst we're gaining a lot of ground on the right, we're actually losing ground on the left. So we're currently contested in this sector on the far left. We're contested here at Kilo. So we're actually not making any points for the team at the moment. Tornado IDS looking for an opportunity to snipe another tank. Unfortunately, with the T-80 being in cover there, it's not going to be too easy. But nice kills by the Tornado F3. come across, help shoot down both the Mi-2 and the Mi-24P. Unfortunately, the timing on the MiG-31 there is going to cause the F3 to get shot down. But otherwise, pretty good run from the Tornado. Ideally, I wouldn't have lost it, but a little bit greedy on my part. So now my artillery going to be used to hit the BMD-3s here on the far right side, just slowly but surely helping ND push through this flaming town. Look at it. It's just completely ruined. You come up this main road, there's just APC wrecks everywhere. Everything's on fire. Incredible. Well, BMD-3s get taken out. Leopard 2A3, I believe, took out a TA to BV, so that was nice. Unfortunately, the Leopard 2A3 taking a lot of damage there. But MiG-29 going down is always nice. Trying to get the Leopard 2A3 out of line of sight of the Conquer's M, because that can kill a Leopard very easily. And the main reason that I had to dive the helicopters earlier with the Tornadoes was because I didn't really have a Gepard in position, which I really should have the whole time. You can see I do have like this line of Fliegerfaust, but having the Gepard in position would have been the play. Now, unfortunately, Leopard 1A5 going to be taken out here. Panzergrenadiers, though, do have line of sight onto the Conquers, and you can see my M110s currently landing artillery onto the Strela 10M. So, good kill. All of those units dealt with. Onwards we go. If we could secure the town completely, it would be absolutely huge, although it's very, very difficult for ND to do so at the moment, with the artillery constantly pouring onto this town. It's actually cool to watch this OH-58 here with this minigun firing away over the town as all of that artillery comes in. Absolutely awesome stuff. I just feel like the scale of WARNO is just so unmatched when you look at it like this. Just the constant artillery strikes and huge engagements happening all across the front here in this massive 10v10. So much fun. And playing on this part of the front line and defeating my enemy and all of his T-80s was really, really nice. Worked out fantastically so far. Now my Tornado GR1 coming in, had intended to get the seed on target, but went for the strafe onto the Mi-24P. Usually seed aircraft are pretty good at strafing aircraft, or strafing helicopters, because they're a lot less vulnerable due to having high ECM. So enemy missiles that get fired at you whilst you dive the helicopter are much less likely to hit the mark. Since I can't get the Leopard 2A3 onto target easily due to the low cohesion, we're going to be using artillery to try and hit the Tunguska and the BMP-3 instead. Rest of my infantry though, continuing to move forwards and backwards. If they get low, we'll bring them back to the supply, get them topped up with men, head them back to the front. Leopard 2A3 currently fixing on the backside here. Artillery hitting the mark nicely there onto the BMP-3. Now the Jaguar looking for a TOW-2 shot on target. My Jaguar back here going to be moving up and joining the Manka. We've got more supply now on the way. The M113s coming in, another Manka. Keeping up supply on the front in WARNO is super, super important. Making sure that you can repair your units when they get damaged is, yep, just really, really, really important. Su-24 does unfortunately kill my Leopard, but at least we do manage to shoot it down. It would have technically been positive value for the Su-24 to get that kill, but Managing to shoot it down means that the Su-24 won't be able to be used again, so that's really nice. I did manage to kill the BMP-2 back here. BMP-2K. Nice leader kill for the Panzergrenadiers. And after that, more artillery onto this town. You can just see the rockets coming in here from the backside. AH-1F Cobras unleashing their rockets into the town as well. Surprised they can see anything through the massive smoke piles there. But good kills all around for the artillery, for the rocket strikes, also for the enemy artillery, which has been slowly but surely whittling down the forces of Flammen and Endy here. Leopards in position. We now have 4 on the field at the same time. Really starting to hit that critical mass. I feel like with the German divisions, if you can get yourself together quite a lot of Leopard 2A3s, you can accompany them with basically anything and then manage to push through really, really nicely. In this case, like the Jaguar 2 Leopard 2A3 combo is really, really nice. And if I had some Marders with Panzergrenadiers in them still as well, you could kind of push forwards with the Leopards and Jaguars and then have the Marders move through and unload all the infantry in order to take an enemy point. It's really, really cinematic when you manage to do that as well. Kind of like I was doing at the start with like the Marders supporting the Panzergrenadiers pushing into this objective. Now bear in mind we started all the way back here with our first push into these buildings, and now we've managed to dive all the way up here towards the T-80 BBs that are further back. Of course, these are now led by AI, so not going to be trying as hard to dodge my tow missiles. And goodbye to that one, as its turret flew somewhere. Oh no, it didn't quite die yet. That was just some debris flying off it. Maybe the next one will make the turret go flying. Oh, it just missed. 2A3 currently playing with fire as it backs off with side armor showing, but another 2A3 going to hit the mark, and the T-80 goes down. Now the Leopard 2A3 here going to be providing crossfire towards the other side of the town. Book's also moving up to get some machine gun fire on target and does manage to help finish off the designated BMD, but ATGM's now flying out of that right hand side. Is going to force me to be cautious. I can't just like push up here freely if there's ATGMs coming out from this direction, because otherwise they're always going to hit the 90 degree, and that's really, really bad when you're trying to make a push like this. You can't leave your flanks exposed. A bit of a ping here from Hendy. No more town anymore, just a burning wreck, and he is exactly right, as the town is completely wiped out over here. More of our opponents giving up the game as we start to drive this home on the right hand side. If we can get into their back sector here, Golf is a 2-point sector, so if we manage to contest it we'll get a +2. If we fully take it we'll actually take a +4, because we'll be taking their +2 away from them as well. But on the left hand side here currently a big push coming through, counterbalancing our big push on the right hand side, and that's why we're still in this game. The M113 is arriving to make sure they have adequate supply. Ihawk actually attack moving forwards as well, looking to try and get a nice shot onto an Su-24 there. T-80 BB not going to last very long. BMP-2AG is spotted on the right hand side. If that ends up in line of sight we can kill that off as well. BMP-2 managing to reverse out of range of the Jaguars. So now Conquer's here, that's got to go. The BMPs on the right have got to go. So I'm starting to sort of wheel around now to the right hand side here and finish them off. So So Conquer's finally taken out. Now it's just a matter of finding line of sight and killing the BMP-2AG. All the while though, I can just take up position in this tree line. And if I can get another leader in, we've got plenty of space here to start contesting this. A good kill from the 2A3 to take out the Strela 10M. Now we're going to be putting decent DPS down onto the Motostrelki. BMP-2 is taken care of. Artillery going to be coming in shortly. And one of my M110s was completely out of ammunition, unfortunately. But that means I do still have this one that can fire, and direct hits onto the Pulamachigi and the Motostrelki will do a ton of damage, as you can see. There you go. Boom. Down goes the building. And dead are the infantry. Now the leader. Very vulnerable out in the open. We're going to try and finish that off. Unfortunately, an ATGM does pick off my M13, which is a bit unfortunate, because I was hoping to be able to try and sneak them further forward so that I could reload the Jaguar and also repair these 2A3s when they get hit. But unfortunately, yeah, not able to. ATGM coming in from here, able to smoke off just in time. You see that ATGM fly over the top. Now Jaguar 2 takes out the BMP on the right hand side. That's good because it's lining us up perfectly to try and get a leader in here at some point, although I didn't have a leader of my own on this left hand side. Going to be forced to come over here and get the 2A3 on target of the BMD. Unfortunately for me, bit of a miss micro on my part. T80BV finds the shot through the trees in order to smash my side armor. BMD3 meanwhile got some autocannon damage on target as well. Also manages to snipe my Mancat, so a little bit overextended. My poor Jaguar and Leopard 2A3 left out to dry there. Either way, we're now managing to contest this sector. Big push coming in on the left-hand side. Look at this. That's a huge amount of forces. Strela 10Ms, T80BVs, pushing very, very deep into our lines. Big old diagonal on the minimap on the top right. Still keeping going though. And it's really just up to us on the right-hand side to be faster than those on the left-hand side. Bear in mind we have managed to make quite a lot of our opponents quit now, so it's just a matter of dealing with the relentlessly aggressive AI, which a lot of this is. I'm just hoping my Leopard 2A3 can get shots on target to these BMD3s and the BRDMs, because honestly they are very squishy and should go down really nice and easy. Yeah, the Leopard 2A3, they're managing to one-shot that. Bleakhouse caught out though. Eagle and Motostrelki get on top of those. So meanwhile on the left, BO-105 coming in there, actually managing to take out two of those T80BVs. It does eventually get shot down, but the Strela 10M's not quite in the right position to follow up. The overextension on the left gets punished too. Here's the Leopard 2A3 leader. Here's the line of Milans on their way. And we're going to be looking to do another Marder 1A3 push. Later into the game when there's a lot of tanks and ATGMs though, the Marders don't really survive as much, but still we'll be able to make good use of the Panzergrenadiers, particularly to take control of these buildings and also to the tree line further back. Tow Cobras hitting the mark. Unfortunately, getting shot down though. Would have been nice if they could have cleaned up the rest of the artillery on the back, but didn't get a chance. My forces are going to be continuing to move forwards now as they come under artillery fire. We're going to want to make sure we keep moving. Like artillery in the hands of the AI can be a little bit cheaty sometimes because they very easily remember where stuff is. If they've seen it once, they'll always remember where it is. Here we go.
Panzergrens dismount, and just in time as the Marders get wiped out by AT fire. The convoy on the road is absolutely burning, but at least we're able to secure these buildings as the napalm comes down and makes my life just a little bit harder. One of the Panzergrens goes down. Another one does manage to make it into the building there, but swiftly taking shots from the BMD-2 and the Einsatzgruppe are not going to be helpful. Yeah, this is where the Panzergrens are going to be useful in this situation, where I can use them to kind of break into this tree line. So I know now that being this close with infantry to this tree line, there's not much to put a threat into the 2A3. One thing that is a big threat, though, is the number of T-80BVs that come over from the left-hand side. Now, this is the same player that was pushing in down here, as you can see. So he's currently being broken down on this left-hand side. The Apache actually managing to get the better of the Strela 10M by the looks of things. Just needs to finish that off with the 30mm. Well, that Strela 10M getting pretty unlucky there, although the cohesion on both sides pretty awful. Yeah, the T-80BVs, they gotta go. So, time to bring in both a Seed GR1 and we've got the Tornado IDS with the Maverick missiles. Oh, just check out how insane this looks. Looking for a shot on target there. Unfortunately, not able to find it. Tornado GR1 manages to find a kill though. And we're managing to hit this Tunguska as well with another Seed missile. So 3 Seed missiles used up. That one managed to do its job. Unfortunately, the AT plane was kind of thrown off by me losing line of sight. And also their own smoke. But Jaguar hitting the mark there is very nice. And since we've managed to full cap the right hand side, we are on a +5. So only 50 seconds now until victory. Left-hand side has been capped back a little bit as well, especially after our opponent's overextension. Lovely kill there actually by the F-15. Takes down the Su-17. The Sancom Rotti moving in to try and help cap this, but very over-ambitious. T-80BV looking to kill my 2A3, but my 2A3 wins first. Spetsnaz spotted. They gotta go. Really solid leader squad. With the enemy leader dead. It's going to go back to a +5. The Spetsnaz taken out. It's going to blind them too. Things are really starting to come together now. As the next 2 Panzergrenadiers are on their way in the Marders. Going to be trying to get those Milans on target of the BMP 1K3. Milan 2 squad manages to beat them to it. Now this Milan squad, incredibly good throughout this game. I believe that was the same squad that started all the way back here. Does end up going down at the last second there, just as I point them out. But that is game. As we come to an end, our victory is secure after 44 minutes and 3 seconds. And I end that one with 10,170 kills to 5,165 losses. And the awesome thing was about playing this game is I kind of played it in the midst of the like the Broken Arrow hype. I seriously enjoyed it. I seriously did. Like, even though it plays very different to Broken Arrow, I still thoroughly enjoy WARNO. I think it's a fantastic game. And its scale is just still unmatched. It really is. So yeah, this was the ATGM there that died right at the end. Fantastic job. Did so much damage. Got plenty of kills. Leopard 2A3 of Haas. Look at that. Huge. Big kill lists. Panzergrenadiers helping us secure the ground. Yeah, beautiful mechanized armored gameplay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.